We are live. So, round two with Miss Molly. I'm going to share my screen and we will begin. Molly. Yeah, here we go. Okay, Molly. So, yesterday, just as we were closing out,
hmm
you were telling me off camera about New Zealand. Do you want to start there, maybe?
Yeah. So back in the very early days of the internet, my dad was in these chat rooms. This was like early to mid 90s. And he had a lot of friends in New Zealand who always was like, come over, come over. And I made friends from his group of friends, people my age. And so since I was in my early 20s, I've just had a fascination, but never been able to go. Um, and finally, last year, I had a couple of weeks of vacation left that I had to take before the end of the year. And I was like, you know what? I'm going. Um, and it was incredible. I've never been somewhere where as soon as I step off the plane, I felt like I was at home. There was a sense of peace about me, a sense of confidence about me. Um, it was almost like I was the best version of me that I've ever been.
What time was that last year?
I left the US on August the 30th. I got there on August the 31st of 2024.
Okay, and you were there for how long?
That trip was about 11 days.
Oh, not too long.
Not too long, no.
But it was super impactful nevertheless.
Yeah, yeah, like in my travels around, and seeing the sights and meeting people and, um, it was incredible, and I got home and I had a really, really hard time acclimating to being back home. It was like a part of my soul was left behind. I mean, it was way more than jet lag because I've learned the trick to negate jet lag. So I hardly ever get jet lag. So this was way bigger than that. And it took several weeks to kind of come out of it.
Hmm. And why? What was the issue for you when you returned?
It felt like that was where I was supposed to be. Like I felt like part of me was left behind there. It's hard to explain. Um, like almost like that's where I'm supposed to be. It was kind of like a realization, and coming home, it was just real hard. It was almost like a bit of a, not a depression, so to speak, but I mean, I had a hard time functioning. I went to my massage therapist, and I've known her for like 15 years. And she was like, your energy is all over the place. I'm like, I know, I feel so weird. Um, but probably about a month after, some deep thinking and Reiki and whatnot, it took about a month to kind of be normal again.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Uh, okay, I have a few questions about that.
hmm
One of them is, what specifically did you connect with there? Was it the land? Was it the culture? Was it the environment?
All of the above.
Okay. So you felt like you have a connection to that place.
Yeah.
A strong one. Okay. Then, where are you at with that now? Are there plans to return
Yeah.
there? Or is
Yeah. Yeah.
And to
I
establish a
actually,
home?
uh, possibly, hopefully, if I can make it happen. I don't know yet. I'm still trying to figure that out, but that would be the ultimate goal.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
But
gonna,
you don't really have a timeline for that at all.
no, this year has been awful. And so there was no planning I could get done this year. Now I'm starting to look into it a little bit more.
Okay. Do you think 2 years is a realistic timeline?
Or less, yeah.
Or less?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so there's a few things happening, in my opinion. I'll start with the first. Um, so I have the transits up for 30th of August 2024.
Mm-hmm.
And what I want to point out is that Uranus is exactly conjunct your sun in the fourth house.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that makes me think about you going to your home that is not actually your home. And then when you return to your real home, you feel so unsettled and your energy's all over the place and you don't know what to do with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And what's interesting about this is, of course, that Uranus is a long-term transit.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not something that happens overnight. It's something that develops over months or even years.
Mm-hmm.
So now that Uranus is moving through your fourth, I'm thinking about the situation where you're trying to leave Tennessee and potentially go to New Zealand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so the Uranus to your sun in the fourth house makes me think about this long period that you're in the middle of currently, where you're reconsidering the place where you want to make your life in your home.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously that's a huge uprooting. And now I see that that's connected to the fact that you're getting rid of all of the family possessions because you're letting go of all that
Mm-hmm.
to make space for whatever's going to come next.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, the other part of it, and there's three. So now we're going to part two. I see Pluto on your ascendant.
Mm-hmm.
That for some reason makes me think about how you're completely wanting to change societies and cultures because in your case the ascendant is in Aquarius, which
Mm-hmm.
is about society, like your social environment.
Mm-hmm.
Um, which tells me, of course, there have been other significant changes happening there, which we haven't gotten to yet. Maybe we will. And the third, and this is more about your natal chart on its own. Okay. It's about this T-square again.
Mm-hmm.
And the moon in Sag in this case, of course, makes me think about the place that is really far away.
Mm-hmm.
And that's your home ultimately, is New Zealand.
Mm-hmm.
And the T-square to Mars in Pisces, something that I've noticed with Pisces placements very often is that they're island people,
Hmm.
meaning they like to be surrounded completely by the water and the ocean. You know, I'm reminded that yesterday, off camera, before we had even started the recording, you had told me that, oh yeah, you know, you have so little water in your chart, but you love going to the pool.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, huh, there has to be water if that's something that you do frequently.
Oh, yeah.
And so now we see Mars in
It's
your first
there.
house,
Yeah.
Pisces. Yeah, exactly.
It's there. There's just not a lot of it. My others take over that. But yeah, that makes sense too.
Right. Yeah. And so this T square is what I'm feeling also about you leaving the United States and
Mm-hmm.
specifically going to be a foreigner somewhere else, because that's also Pisces. It's when you immigrate.
Mm-hmm.
So you're an outsider, overseas Pisces, yeah? And you know, the timeline that I asked you about 2 years, the reason I asked about that is because over the next 2 years, and you can see that if I play with Uranus a bit, Uranus is going to be transiting that
Mm-hmm.
T square all the way up until, yeah, basically 2029.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah. When
so that tells me, hmm?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, no, go ahead.
Um, I was just going to say, with Uranus being retrograde right now, um, it actually, when it stations direct next year, it's going to be like smack dab on top of my son.
Exactly. But you're in the thick of it.
Mm-hmm.
So can you make sense of that
Oh,
somehow?
yeah. I mean, I know that that's had me all kind of ways because, like I said, as soon as it really got into a close uh, conjunction, that's when I started hightailing at different places. I mean, I had been in the same house for 7 years and then the previous house for 6 years. But as soon as it got close to my son, I was up and moving 2022, 2024, and now here it's about to be 2026, and I'm looking at it again, except on a grander scale this time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All the way leaving.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Um, how, because now you're in that kind of environment where you plan to hightail, what effect does that have on your relationships to your family? And also, are you partnered?
I'm single.
Okay.
No partner except for my dog. Um, Last year when I got back, I immediately planned another trip for Christmas. And I don't know if my mom and my dad were cohorting, but they both figured it out. They were like, "You're trying to leave," and I played dumb for a little bit, but I was like, "So what if I am?" Um, they both think it's crazy, but I can also tell that they both think it's probably something that would be good for me. As I've gotten older, I've realized that my mom wants me to go and be an explorer, whereas when I was younger, I thought opposite. Um, and so I think they both want that for me. Even though they think I'm cockamamie and crazy, but I think they're excited about it.
Hmm. Okay, so there's a sense in your entire family unit that something is about to change.
Hmm.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Let's take it a level down.
Okay.
And I'm curious about what's happening in your actual physical environment. Like with your house, have there been any issues or any repairs or any properties that have gone south, or maybe you're remodeling, or what's going on property wise?
Nothing. I mean, I've been trying to start working on getting rid of more things, um, but nothing remodeling wise since last year. I had once I moved into this house, I had a few things done, but not much. The only thing left to do is to uh, install the tankless water heater.
The what water heater?
A tankless water heater
Uh-huh. Which you'll do when?
next week.
Next week. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. And you have a dog, you
Hmm.
said.
Hmm.
Okay. Have you always been single?
Yes.
Really?
Hmm. I mean,
No part.
I've had boyfriends, but I've never been married.
Uh-huh. Is that something that you feel like has plagued you, or is that something that's totally
Oh,
by choice?
it's plagued me. It's Saturn in my fifth house. That's what it is.
Exactly, that's what I was thinking. Exactly.
It has absolutely plagued me.
Okay. Have you tried, like, do you ever do dating apps or
Yeah, I
try
did.
to meet people?
Yeah, it's just it's a bunch of crap and it's pointless, and I built a lot of walls in my mid-20s. So it's
What do you mean?
a broken heart when I was in my mid-20s.
Mid-20s, so that would have been like 1999.
95, 96.
Okay, let's go there if you don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened in 95, 96?
I was seeing some guy, a guy that we were crazy about, but it ended up not working out. Long story short.
And why not?
Timing.
Oh, that was actually exactly when Saturn was in the same position that he is now. Saturn was again in the late degrees of Pisces, 95 and 96.
Hmm.
You know, that's interesting. That's right, because even if I fast forward to now, you're going through your Saturn square. But this time it has nothing to do with love, I guess.
No,
What do you make of that?
I have no idea.
Where do you think you've been struggling the most over the past year?
Trying to figure out the next steps, because there's this Pluto on my ascendant, this underlying identity change, and Nashville isn't cutting it anymore. And I need to get out of here.
Hmm. Can you point towards something specific about Nashville that you don't like anymore?
It's changed so much since I grew up. It's gotten really busy, and there are a lot of changes that are being made, not for the better. I was already dissatisfied when I moved back to my hometown in 2022, but that was a very small rural town, and I felt sort of isolated. And so that's when I decided to move back up here. And at first it was okay, but after several months that dissatisfaction set back in.
And what specifically do you not like?
Everything about it. I mean, I just don't want to be here anymore in Nashville.
Uh-huh. So you said the city has grown. It has gotten
Mhm.
big.
Yeah.
Okay, like expanded.
Yeah. And
Okay.
you've got just so many people. We've had so many transplants from all over the states, and it's just changed so much. It used to be a very welcoming city. It felt like a small town, even though it was a larger city, the capital of the state. Um, but it's just the energy isn't the same.
I
I
get
don't.
it. Okay. The culture has changed
Yeah.
significantly,
Yeah.
right? Because it used to be like, I guess, Southern,
Yeah, Southern
kind of like,
hospitality
yeah.
feeling, yeah, and that's gone. So
Uh-huh. Because now there's a lot of non-Southerners there.
correct.
Okay. And so it's a
Okay,
kind of, mhm.
yeah, so a case point example, um, and so we are known for country music, and so many country music stars live here. So there's lots of celebrity, and there always has been lots of celebrity in this town. Um, and as natives, You knew that if you see somebody in public, you just nod and smile and keep walking. You leave them alone because they're people. About 15 years ago is when it really started changing. No, 10 years ago. There was a TV show, and that's what started bringing so many people into the city, and not just tourists, but tourists that would come here and be like, "Oh my gosh, it's so amazing! It's so cheap to live there." Blah blah blah, and then you come in, and then prices skyrocket. So from that,
Mhm.
it has just downtown. You won't catch me downtown anymore because it's just a bunch of loud music and lots of people, and I'm like, no.
Uh-huh. Okay. So that's something you had observed just happening over the years.
Mhm.
Okay, what was the TV show that came and I guess it's 2015 because you said 10 years ago.
Yeah, I think it started in 2015. It was a TV show called Nashville. It was like a nighttime soap opera on one of the affiliate channels here. So, people got so vested in that show and wanted to see Nashville, and it was good at first, but then it blew the whole city up.
Okay. Okay. So what I feel very strongly now is you're talking about this part of your chart, the Moon Neptune conjunction
Hmm.
in Sagittarius.
Hmm.
Now the moon is your home,
Hmm.
but the home is not just like your house that you live in. It's also the environment, the neighborhood, the geography, the city, like anything where you feel like, yeah, that's my home. Nashville's my home.
Hmm.
Yeah. So in your case, the conjunction with Neptune, because Neptune is a collective planet, let's say, collective energy, because it has such a slow cycle. So it rules things that many people go through together.
Hmm.
And in your case, they sit in the sign of Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is exactly that expansionist energy. When there's outsiders coming in, when there's real estate development, when the city grows and grows, the population explodes, and it just goes viral.
Right.
Yeah. So your Moon Neptune conjunction, now I see it in two ways. One of them is over the years, and by the way, in 2015, you went through your Neptune square.
Hmm.
And in 2015, there was also Saturn conjunct your Moon and Neptune. In fact, I can put that up just so that we can see exactly how that looks. Yeah.
Hmm.
So that makes me think about, because you said that's the starting point of when you started to feel like this is no longer your home because of all the people coming through. Yeah.
Hmm.
And so there I feel how at that point exactly Saturn was conjunct your Moon
Hmm.
and Neptune. So that's when you start to feel like you're being pushed out,
Yeah.
ostensibly.
Yeah.
The other part, of course, with your Moon Neptune conjunction in Sag makes me think about you feeling more at home in New Zealand, a place that is so far away from
Hmm.
Tennessee and so has nothing in common with it. And I'm also thinking now about the Venus in Sag that opposes it. Now I'm gonna go back to the New Zealand thing. It's about the fact that your dad, we're gonna say that's the fourth house for now, was in
Hmm.
these chat rooms.
Hmm.
So that for me is the Venus in Gemini.
Hmm.
Because I guess that was interesting for you as well. Like
Hmm.
what's happening on who's he talking to? Was that kind of a point of interest for you when you were little? The internet, the computer?
Oh yeah, yeah. And like I said, I had several friends down there that I talked to as well.
Oh, in New Zealand.
Hmm. Yeah,
Um, can you identify how he got to specifically New Zealand?
I have no idea. I have zero idea.
Okay, let's have a look at. Oh, first I need to put up the other planets. Let's have a look at the astrocartography. So New Zealand is like,
Way down there. Yeah, that's where your mouse
oh,
was.
oop, no, hold on. That's Australia. So here's New Zealand. Moon, and Neptune lines are all going through New Zealand, and your sun Mercury, which is all of
Hmm.
your fourth house, is at New Zealand.
Hmm.
Isn't that interesting?
Hmm.
But I guess you've seen that before.
Hmm. Yeah. Like I said, when I got back, I couldn't understand it. I was so flabbergasted that I felt that way and that I reacted that way. I mean, that's the first time that's ever happened. And that's when I was like, why is this? Why is this? And this is my, if I don't have an answer to a question, I'm going to find it myself. And so that's when I started like really looking into the whys. And that's how I came across the astrocartography and started reading up about that. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. Um, so I actually went back in December of last year for Christmas.
Okay, so you did go the second time. Okay.
Hmm. Hmm.
Hmm. And did you scout for housing? What was the purpose of the second time? Just more vacation?
The second time was to see some friends that I had met on the previous trip and just kind of experience a Kiwi Christmas because it's summer down there. And so I was like, that would be kind of cool. Um, the trip didn't work out quite like I wanted it to. That was some of the plan, but I found out that I'm really allergic to one of the native trees, and I got really sick and ended up coming home 11 days early.
Oh, so that would have been okay. So when would you have gone exactly?
I think I left here on the 19th of December of last year, and I left to come home on December the 31st.
Okay, so just before the new year.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And you're allergic to one of the trees.
Hmm. That blooms right here at Christmas.
Doesn't that complicate your plan to go there in any way?
No, I just know to double up on my allergy medicine.
Got it. Okay, so it's not like a deadly allergy, like
No,
illness.
no,
Okay.
it was, I thought it was a sinus infection, honestly, and ended up in the urgent care clinic on Boxing Day. Um, and he was like, it's not, it's not a sinus infection. It's just really bad allergies. And I didn't have my normal allergy medicine down there. I had only my pill that I take daily. And so even though I was taking that, I needed my additional allergy medicine and I didn't have it because I didn't have that problem when I was there the first time.
Uh-huh. Okay, and why did you think it was about your sinuses? Because you were sneezing like crazy and having trouble breathing.
Yeah, I had head congestion, headache, all of that. So I thought it was a sinus infection, and the doctor said no, it's just really bad allergies.
Interesting. And then you would have gone into the hospital around when?
On Boxing Day, the 26th of December.
Okay. Well, that makes good sense because exactly on that day is when the sun was entering your 12th house.
Hmm.
So that makes me think about you going into the hospital. And now you're there and you're talking to the doctors and you're trying to figure out what's wrong. So I guess they were all confused. Like you don't really know what's happening at that time.
Well, I didn't. I mean, like I said, I thought it was just a sinus infection. That's what it felt like to me. But after his exam at the clinic, he he checked everything out, and my lungs were fine and everything. My sinus passages were just really inflamed from the allergies.
Hmm. Yeah, that kind of really intrigues me because immediately when you told me that it's about a tree, I feel like, okay, there should be Earth sign involved. So that makes me think about Uranus at that time stationing on top of your Mercury. But what I also notice is that Mars, retrograde at that time, is opposing Pluto on your ascendant.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes me think about you having serious allergy issues. The Aquarius part of it, that something is being put into your system through the air, and then it's massively inflammatory. So there's the Mars in Leo. Okay. And now you don't have any plans or tickets or anything to go back for the time being.
Not right yet. I'm probably gonna go back late January, early February.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. That's pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
So you keep on traveling there.
Mm-hmm. I haven't
And
been
and
in a year, but I'll go. I'm gonna go back because I want to go. I want to go check some things out as far as housing goes. Speak to an immigration attorney. See about going back to school. Maybe that's what I'm trying to figure out. I don't know. From everything that I've done my own personal research on, the best way to get me there for any length of time is to go back to school. And that's where I'm kind of, I don't know yet what I want to study if I go back to school.
uh-huh. Okay. There's a few things that intrigue me about that. Let's start with this one. Okay. So I have the transits up for next January,
Mhm,
January 2026. And there we see Uranus is exactly conjunct your sun Mercury, especially your sun, 27 Uranus, 27 your sun.
mhm,
So of course that makes me think about you going back there this time to explore how you're going to live there, how you can get housing.
mhm,
So then you said you're also going to be talking to various people there to explore your options.
mhm.
Yeah, so again, this makes me think about that long-term transit of Uranus that's going to be exact, just exactly at the time that you're back there to actually think about how you can move.
Right.
The second part that intrigues me, and now I really want to understand, why do you have to study to be there?
Uh, Visa options. I mean, the longest I can stay on a tourist visa or a holiday visa is 90 days.
Oh,
So, you know, that would be a pain in the butt to have to go for 90 days, leave, come back for 90 days. That's a huge pain. I don't want to do that. I want to find a longer term visa option um that I could stay longer.
but work, you can't find work there.
No, I would continue. I would see about continuing to do my current job in a different manner remotely. Um and uh the job situation there right now is very horrible. People
Mm-hmm.
are having such a hard time finding jobs down there.
Mm-hmm. Okay, never mind an outsider.
Right, exactly.
Okay, I have a few questions about that. The first, does that mean that over the past year you've been doing a lot of investigation about what it takes to move there, what kind of documents you
Started that
need?
last year, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I
Oh,
know that if I take my dog with me, it's going to take a 6 month minimum to get her through the barrage of tests that she has to go through to get admittance into the country. That's a 6 month process right there.
uh-huh. And of course you're gonna take your dog.
Oh, yeah. I'm not leaving my baby.
Okay. Yeah, okay, so that makes me think about the Uranus conjunction to you, and also Saturn, actually, that is sextiling your Sun and Mercury in Taurus. Because whenever it's about animal life, that also makes me think about Taurus. And the fact that part of your investigation is about how can you bring her down there too.
Hmm.
Okay. The other thing I really feel now, because I had asked you, so what do you make of the Saturn square? and now I start to hear it. Because Saturn, you've been going through that Saturn square for the past year.
Mm-hmm.
And again, the Pisces thing is about being an immigrant and also not knowing about how the laws are in New Zealand, for example, because it's
Mm-hmm.
all new, right? Whereas your Saturn in Gemini for me is getting all of the information, contacting the right people, submitting the right documents, filling out applications, searching for the correct schooling,
Yeah.
writing to whomever is the right parties, which is obviously a very long and difficult process because it's
Mm-hmm.
not like people are waiting to help you.
Correct.
Okay, so there's a lot of red tape, I guess, around getting there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Has that been like a point of frustration for you in the
Yeah.
okay. Hmm. Okay. But now it seems like do you feel like there's some kind of forward movement being anticipated by you?
I still feel it. Yeah. I still haven't figured out the path because, like I said, from all of my research thus far, the student visa is going to get me there for the minimum of 3 years. Um, and I don't know what I want to study.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Everything that I've thought of, my intuition doesn't latch on immediately. And that for me is a telltale sign. If I'm questioning it, it's not right. Um,
Hmm.
every big decision that I've made that or something has popped in my head, I've known that it was right, or like if it was a right direction, I knew that immediately. As soon as I thought about it, I knew it was meant to happen. And it always does when I get that idea. But right now nothing is sticking. So that's where I'm torn.
Uh-huh.
That's my delay.
Okay. Your delay is that you don't know what to study.
Correct. I don't
Okay.
know. Yeah, that is or as far as the going to school option. And part of me is even still like, do you have to go back to school? But because of the red tape, yes.
Very interesting. Okay, that brings up a couple things for me. The first one is the Saturn square
Hmm.
to your Saturn and Gemini. Like
Hmm.
the big issue here is what are you going to study? So that makes me think about the Saturn and Gemini.
Hmm.
And but then of course I don't have too many details about what kind of subjects you've explored. We're gonna get to that in just a moment. Actually, I would like to hear about that. The other thing that I notice that really interests me is the transiting Pluto is now applying a conjunction to your natal Jupiter in
Hmm.
Aquarius. And that makes me think about how, in order for you to go and live in another society, Aquarius, it is contingent on you pursuing education there,
Hmm.
Jupiter.
Hmm.
And so Pluto is going to be conjoining your Jupiter for several years now. And that makes me think about, because now he's applying, so that makes me think about how early you are in that process. It's like
Hmm.
you're approaching that subject of studying something,
Hmm.
but it's not actually happening just yet.
Correct.
And then once Pluto is getting closer to Jupiter, that makes me think about the long process of actually pursuing the degree and completing it.
Hmm.
And then who knows what's going to happen thereafter.
Correct.
So that intrigues me. Okay. Now, what subjects have you explored potentially studying?
I've been interested in a doctor of natural medicine,
Oh.
but I I go back to thinking more finishing up my psychology degree. Um, I feel like I'm being called to help people. I don't know how.
Okay. Why doesn't the doctor of natural medicine, what keeps you?
It just doesn't, it's not, oh, that's it.
Hmm.
So I'm not getting that light bulb fuzzy feeling when I know I'm making a right decision.
Do you have any interest in like agriculture or veterinary or land preservation?
Land preservation, definitely. I've thought about moving to the middle of nowhere and uh, rescuing animals.
Yes. Oh
But
yeah.
so um, I just I don't know if it's people, if it's animals, and how to make that happen, especially if I have to go back to school.
Hmm.
So many variables.
And you know, it kind of intrigues me that you jump to doctorate because doctorate, as far as I understand, is like a very difficult multiple year program.
In natural medicine, it's not as long as a doctorate program for a medical an MD. This is an ND or DNM, so it's not those rigorous, postgraduate studies and all that. So um, you have, I think it's about a 3 year for the first part, and then maybe 2 years after that. I haven't looked into it like super in detail because, like, I mean, part of me is like, yes, but then I just, I don't know. It, it's not clicking.
Yeah, I hear you. But it's also interesting that you offer up that timeline specifically because exactly in 6 years, so that gives you 5 years to complete the degree plus the 1 year that it's going to take to get there.
Mhm.
That's exactly when Pluto would make the last final conjunction to your Jupiter. So that would make very good sense to me that you're studying
Yeah.
for 5 years. But still, we don't know, right? Because you haven't
Right.
decided. The other thing, because of your Sun Mercury conjunction in the fourth house Taurus, when you
Mhm.
said animal rescue, I was like, oh, now that's interesting. That sounds
Yeah.
very right somehow.
Yeah.
Is that something that genuinely intrigues you, or is that kind of like a distant idea?
A little bit of both. Um, I think that's kind of more of a, if I if I was the richest woman in the world, that's what I would do. That kind of dream.
Hmm.
If I win the lottery, I'm going to buy a bunch of acreage and rescue all the animals and, you know, that sort of thing.
So that's always kind of in the back of your mind, is it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If I had all the money in the world, yeah, totally.
Okay, that feels very right to me. Also because you've had it in your mind,
I'm
and the
very
potential
much
for
an
it is
animal.
so strong. Hmm?
I'm very much an animal person.
Okay, so that tells me, okay, so I guess you talk to your dog.
Yeah. She's over here snoozing right now.
Do you ever foster or rescue animals already?
Um, no, I haven't. Only because it would be hard letting them go. And that's why I never wanted to be a vet, because I
Hmm.
bear to watch animals die or be hurt. That I can help rehabilitate, but to see them actually, like, as a vet, what a vet sees, I couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm. So you're squeamish a little bit,
Not squeamish, tenderhearted.
tenderhearted.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Do you like garden or because I feel that you're very handy. Like you can fix things, you can Do things around the house. You don't really need help.
I've remodeled houses since 2013. The houses that I've lived in.
Okay, what does that take to remodel a house?
A lot of physical energy and a lot of money. I mean, I've ripped out cabinets, I've installed cabinets, I've laid flooring, I've done the plumbing, the electrical, switching out lights, light fixtures. I've done it all. I finally threw in the towel in August or September of 2023 because it had taken me 3 months to remodel my kitchen at the house in my hometown. And that was practically by myself. And I was just tired of it. I was like, I'm done.
Okay, so in 2023, over the summer, you attempted to remodel your house,
Hmm.
and it took 3 months, so it was too long for you. Is that right?
Yeah, it was doing it on my own was exhausting. And that's why it took so long.
Okay, you did it by yourself.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And what does that mean when you remodel a kitchen?
I ripped all the old cabinets out. I ripped all the old tile out. I installed new cabinets. I built them from scratch.
Mhm.
Installed those. Um, installed,
Physical labor,
yeah, physical labor. Yeah,
all with material work, like earth matter.
yeah.
Okay, yes. So I have the transits up for August of 23,
Mm-hmm.
and Pluto is already sitting on your ascendant in
Mm-hmm.
Capricorn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And making an exact trine to your sun in Taurus in the
Mm-hmm.
fourth. So that part makes me think Pluto on your ascendant, you're alone.
Mm-hmm.
Capricorn, you're building. And what are you building? Your own house.
Yeah.
And obviously, the Capricorn Taurus for me is ripping it out, building your own stuff, putting them up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it was a big mess, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh. You know what? That also makes me think, because how long were you doing it? You said since
Off and
2013?
on, since 2013, different houses that I lived in, I would do different remodeling projects within those houses.
Okay. So that was the start.
Mm-hmm.
When in 2013?
Mm, I don't really remember.
All right, just sometime.
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting. So that makes me think about, because in 2013, Pluto would have sextiled your Mars.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes me think about the beginning of you going through that period. Also, Pluto had entered your 12th house Capricorn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so since then, the entire time that Pluto is transiting your 12th house Capricorn, you're remodeling different houses. That
Mm-hmm.
intrigues me. And now, just in 2023, notice what's interesting. Pluto is at the end of Capricorn. He's about to leave and enter Aquarius and not return. And so that makes me think that's when you threw in the towel. Pluto is leaving Capricorn. You're done remodeling.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. But then I ask myself, so how come the 12th? But of course, that only comes as we get more detail about what was the actual process of all those remodels.
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay. Remodeling, I guess, was like a big hobby for you, right?
Yeah.
And it took a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
And you loved, I guess, the process of putting
Mm-hmm.
your own touch on things.
Yeah.
Okay. That also makes me think about your son being in Taurus in the fourth house.
Mm-hmm.
That of course you're living in the house very much
Mm-hmm.
and building it by yourself, remodeling it by yourself.
Right.
But now that that hobby is over, What has replaced it, if anything?
Nothing. I take that
Nothing.
back. I take that back. Uh, social media, which,
Aha!
yeah.
Look, Pluto went from Capricorn into Aquarius. So you stopped building and you moved into social media.
Hmm.
Earth to air.
Hmm.
Okay. How come? What's happening on social media?
Nothing. And that's like I mentioned yesterday, I'm coming to a point where I'm like, I need to just walk away from it and find something else. Whether it be reading again, I've not read a book in quite some time, which I'm generally an avid reader. Um, or pick a new hobby, or pick back up a hobby that I've had in the past. I have actually been crocheting a little bit the last couple of weeks for Christmas. Um, but I haven't really found anything new that I want to pursue yet. Couple
Right,
of
because you
couple of ideas, but no, not a whole lot of uh traction yet.
like not too much energy behind any of it.
Right.
Yeah, because I remember you even told me about the crocheting. It's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, I want to understand what happened to you on social media? What drew you in the first place? What kind of process did you go through that now makes you want to depart?
Um, there's just so much negativity, and I have found that the more I'm exposed, it makes me angry, and it makes me a little bit combative. And I know that's my Mars in the first, because I can be combative. I just don't like to be. So I feel like I need to just put it down, walk away again. I've done it before, um, and was fine. Um, but I haven't yet.
Combative in the sense that you're getting into arguments online.
Or yeah, or I'll read a comment that pisses me off, and I type out this response, and then I'm like, no, don't do it, because I also hate confrontation. Um, I'm a walking oxymoron with that. So um, yeah, I so I'm like, it's affecting my own energy. So I need to get out in the world and ground myself, so to speak, and not worry about what's on a screen happening.
So were you pretty much like in a black hole with that over the past couple years?
Yeah, I had actually like deleted everything up until last year. I
And
was
then you
off,
went back.
yeah, completely, yeah, and then I went back.
Uh-huh. Okay, that makes me think very much about Pluto on your ascendant in Aquarius, that you're struggling with society. And
Hmm.
I see it on two levels. One of them is, yes, what's happening on social media, but the other one is what's happening in Nashville.
Hmm.
So on both sides, it's the lack of community.
Hmm.
And ultimately you feeling like maybe you don't fit in any of those spaces.
Yeah, I'm shedding, for the woo woo. I'm shedding what no longer serves me, so to speak. Um, there are friend groups that I'm just like, I've walked away from completely. I tested it a couple of weeks ago, and it was like, mm-mm, no. So
Mm-hmm.
Pluto's having fun.
Yeah. And still there, but moving
Hmm.
away. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, and that makes me think about how you've been totally drawn in, especially for the past year, because the last year was when Pluto was exactly there, like,
Yeah.
and now you just want to be done with that. So I
Hmm.
feel how that process, I don't have too many of the details, but I hear it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Good. Let's pause for today.
Okay, doke.
And I'm gonna stop recording.